Lepis rain on the news this evening. River State House of Assembly petitioned over oil spill in Etio community Elime local government area. NDLEA intercepts canisters of laughing gas heading to Port Harcourt, arrest one. Court again quashes suspended CBN Governor Emefiele's arrest detention. President Tinubu to attend meeting of AU in Nairobi, Kenya. On a foreign scene, Kenya President says no more opposition protests. I am Kalada Kurubata. Good evening. The people of Etio in Elime local government area want the River State House of Assembly to investigate the oil spill that occurred in the area 3 weeks ago. Our correspondent gathered that their petition follows the continued silence of the National Oil Spill Detection and Response Agency, NOSTRA, and the company in charge of the pipeline. A youth leader from the community, Gift Kukwa, who confirmed this to correspondent Soibi Ruwari, said attempts to get the response of relevant government agencies to act on the oil spill has not yielded results.
As of yesterday, the Ministry of Environment visited the site yesterday. So far, we have right to ask for Assembly, also right to notify the FGA chairman. So we are still waiting for their response. Okay, we like to ask for Assembly to come to our aim. This is what we experienced, and up to now, we have not gotten any information from the NNPC. But the only thing we don't see is that they came overnight to cover the place, and they left. Up to now, they have been silent over us.
Mr. Kukwa also denied that a third-party interference was responsible for the oil spill.
No, if it's a third party, they will not be the ones to decide to say it's third party. At least if they come to the place to stop the explanation, that should be inclusive with Nozra. Because Nozra, they were not informed, they were not aware, they were not there. So who concludes that it's third party? At least the both communities, Nozra and other agencies need to be there. Then everybody it will be confirmed whether it's third party or it's not party. But because it's not third party, so if it's third party, they will have gone later and do the work. And everybody must be informed or be aware and see it. But because it's a complete failure, so that was why they were trying to cover it up.
On his part, the Executive Director of Environmental Rights Actions and Friends of the Earth Nigeria, Chima Williams, said the company cannot claim there was a third-party interference when a joint investigation visit has not been conducted.
There are provisions in the NOSRA Act of what NOSRA should do. Once NOSRA has been notified and NOSRA gets across to the company, for every day they continue to report, there is a penalty that is enshrined in the NOSRA Act, and to pay those penalties, first and foremost, those penalties are not compensation for the victims or the communities, but for the flouting the order. But when NOSRA keeps silence and doesn't do it, then we have to ask questions.
Mr. William now wants Nostra to take action following the non-compliance of the company regulations for containment of oil spill.
If it is not of the provisions of relevant rules, it means that it's exercised. So it is already passing judgment before the case is heard, and that is not acceptable because that gives room to manipulations and speculations and arguments. For the company that have declared that it is as a result of third-party interference without a proper JIV visit, that is going to nowhere.
The management of Nostra is yet to speak on this. However, members of Etio community claimed officials of NNPCL entered the area saying they do not own the pipeline responsible for the spill. An environmental manager, Christian Otiasa, has urged the states in the Niger Delta region to institute a class action against the federal government and security agencies for setting ablaze a vessel that carried barrels of stolen crude oil in Delta State. Dr. Otiasa, in an interview with correspondent Soibi Ruwari, gave this advice while speaking on the environmental hazard of the action of the security agencies.
The state governments of this Niger Delta state, together with human beings, people, fishermen, those affected, should take class actions against the federal government and all the agencies involved. Because internationally, the right to livelihood is equated to the right to life. And therefore, anybody who destroys it is destroying the right to life, and must be dealt with accordingly. We are killing even the rivers that feed them. It is not enough that we have taken their resources without doing anything for them, and we are killing them this way.
Dr. Otiasa said the crime committed against the Niger Delta people by the security agencies is worse than the owners of the burnt vessel that carried the stolen crude.
The man who is stealing the oil is committing economic crimes. But you bombing this vessel and spilling the content into the marine waters, you are not only engaged in economic crimes, you are again engaged in crimes that kills livelihood, crimes against humanity. The Niger Delta people will be sick. The ecosystem will be sick, and these sicknesses will be transferred to the Niger Delta people through the food chain. The cancer that is human health issues will arise and continue to arise in greater dimensions.
The environmentalists also frowned at the method adopted by security agencies to destroy the ship that carried the stolen crude.
Now, my anger is that one, it is archaic. These things happened in primordial ages when there was no knowledge available as to the deleterious effects of hydrocarbons on water bodies, particularly the marine ecosystem. Now, a day like this, when Nigeria has advanced in the knowledge of environmental management, a government, a responsible government, what it sought, will criminally do what they are doing. What they have done is not just criminal, it is devilish. It is worse than Satan acting on Mother Earth.
Recall that security agencies alongside local security had set ablaze a vessel that carried crude oil stolen, allegedly owned by a Nigerian registered company early this week. Moving on. A community leader, Thango Dagbam, says the 100 days of Governor Siminalayi Fubara in office will be better celebrated by Rivers people when rural communities are captured in the projects and policies of the administration. Mr. Agbam, in an interview with our correspondent, urged the governor to move beyond fuel subsidy palliatives, buses, and ring road construction to providing job opportunities and youth engagement programs to reduce restiveness in communities. He also said the Rivers State Sustainable Development Agency, RSSDA, which created scholarships for intelligent students, should be brought back.
A farmer who has a farmland with his product on the farm, after harvesting, if there's no road to the market, how will he sell his product? Most communities doesn't have road at all. There should be youth engagement program to reduce the youth restiveness in River State. Majority of our youth are carrying gun because there's no job. Most of them are graduates, nowhere to work. So let them provide youth engagement programs. They should provide scholarship for intelligent students. Those of them who are in rural areas that don't have people to sponsor them. So I will appeal to the governor in this 100 days in office to try to achieve this.
In another development, the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency (NDLEA) says it intercepted 3 cartons containing 18 canisters of nitrous oxide, otherwise known as laughing gas, heading into Port Harcourt, Rivers State yesterday. NDLEA spokesperson Femi Babafemi, who made this known, said NDLEA operatives on patrol intercepted the substance along Owerri-Onitsha Expressway in Imo State. It said a swift follow-up operation was conducted on Stadium Road, Elekaya, leading to the arrest of the owner of the shipment, 24-year-old Tonye Kalu. The statement also said the agency also intercepted over 64,000 kilogram consignments of laughing gas at the Apapa Seaport in Lagos State. The importer of the consignment, 30-year-old Stephen Eze, and his agent Michael Chukuma were arrested and detained for further investigation. The Nigerian Army says it will not relent in its efforts to clear terrorists from the northwest region of the country. The General Officer commanding 8th Division, Nigerian Army Sokoto, Major General Godwin Mutkut, told newsmen that the army has been giving the terrorists a tough time and the only option for them is to drop their arms and surrender to the troops. Their retention of the suspended Central Bank of God Efele by the CSS who have the a federal capital territory Justice Yusuf Alilu described the EFCC's charges of fraud and abuse of office as an abuse of judicial process. Still meeting you in Nairobi. Stay tuned as we go for a quick commercial break. Thank you for staying tuned. Welcome back now to the rest of the news. President Bola Tinubu will travel to Nairobi, Kenya tomorrow to participate in the 5th Media Coordination Meeting of the African Union, the Regional Economic Communities, the Regional Mechanisms and the African Union Member States. The President will present a report on the status of regional integration in ECOWAS, highlighting actions carried out during the period under review by ECOWAS institutions, member states and other stakeholders to deepen integration through trade, free movement of persons, infrastructure development, peace, security and stability. Wife of the President, Oluremi Tinubu, has met with the wives of the 36 state governors to formally acquaint them with the objectives and mission of her pet project, the Renewed Hope Initiative. The meeting held in our office today. She asks for the support of the wives of the state governors to chart a prosperous path for all citizens.
The mission is towards a better life for families. The goals: 1. To ensure women in Nigeria are engaged in productive activities that contribute to the socio-economic development of individuals, communities, and the nation at large. 2. To increase opportunities for women, youth, and children across the nation.
Our correspondent for the reports that the Renewed Hope Initiative is the pet project of the Office of the First Lady. The World Health Organization, WHO, says it is now classified aspartame, an artificial sweetener commonly used in soft drinks, as having the potential to cause cancer in humans. It, however, said the acceptable daily intake level remains unchanged. WHO's Nutrition and Food Safety Director, Francesco Branca, said it is not advising companies to withdraw products or advising consumers to stop consuming altogether, but just advising for a bit of moderation. The Kano state government has faulted the mode of distribution of the federal government 500 billion naira allocation intended to support small-scale industries across the country's geopolitical zones. The state governor, Abba Yusuf, says the distribution of the allocation is heavily skewed, with Lagos State receiving 47%, followed closely by the South-South zone receiving 17%, while other regions received significantly lower percentages. In business, the Nigeria Electricity Regulatory Commission says 11 electricity companies have applied to review their electricity tariffs. The NEC, in a notice, said the request for rate reviews following the need to incorporate changes in macroeconomic parameters and other factors affecting the quality of service operations and sustainability of the companies. In entertainment, the 2023 edition of Big Brother Naija will kick off on the 23rd of July. The 8th edition of the reality show is an all-star affair featuring former housemates. In sports, UEFA has banned Barcelona and Manchester United for breaches of financial fair play regulations. Now to the foreign scene.
And now we'll bring you news from around the world.
Kenya's President William Ruto says protests will no longer take place in the country. The president said this to supporters in Naivasha, central Kenya, 2 days after at least 10 people died during clashes between protesters and security forces. He said the protest planned for next Wednesday will not be possible. Opposition leader Raila Odinga has launched a series of demonstrations against tax rises, including the doubling of the tax on fuel that were signed into law last month. On the news this evening, you heard the River State House of Assembly has been petitioned over an oil spill in Etio Community, Eleme local government area. And the LA has intercepted 18 canisters of laughing gas heading to Port Harcourt and has arrested one person. Court has again quashed the arrest and detention of the suspended CBN Governor Godwin Emefiele. President Tinubu will attend the meeting of AU in Nairobi, Kenya. On the foreign scene, Kenya President says there will no more be opposition protests. The news was edited by Martha Okerinkem. Mostly cloudy weather expected in Port Harcourt this evening. Peace is the path to the prosperity of a nation. Let peace reign. I am Kala Dakorubatubo. Good evening. Do stay tuned. Conversations continue after the break.